Have you ever looked at your bank account and thought, how is it possible that I'm this responsible and still feel this behind? You've read the advice, you understand percentages, you know you should save and invest, but your actual results don't match what you know in your head. What if the real gap isn't intelligence or even income, but the psychology that quietly drives every money decision you make? In today's video, The Psychology of Money, we're going to explore 8 money lessons most people only understand when it's already too late to rewind the last 10 or 20 years. Welcome to Trip to Wealth, where we talk about money the way adults actually live it, with pressure, responsibilities, and a deep desire for stability and freedom. If you've ever felt like you should be further ahead by now, you're not alone. Most people are carrying invisible stories, fears, and expectations about money they never chose. They simply absorbed them. The problem is that these beliefs run the show in the background. They decide what you buy, what you avoid, what you tolerate, and when you finally say, enough, often without you noticing. In this video, we're going to walk through the psychology of money most people learn only after a crisis, a burnout, a lost decade, or a painful regret. My goal is simple: to help you see these patterns now, while you still have time to change the trajectory. If that's the kind of clarity you want more of, feel free to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Let's start with the first lessons. Your money story didn't begin with you. Before you ever earned your first paycheck, your brain was already learning what money meant. Maybe you grew up hearing, "We can't afford that," or "money doesn't grow on trees," or the opposite, "We don't talk about money in this house." Maybe you watched arguments about bills, or you saw a parent work themselves to exhaustion to keep the lights on. Or maybe money simply felt invisible. It showed up when needed, but nobody explained how or why. The point is, long before you made conscious choices about money, your nervous system was quietly wiring itself around fear, scarcity, shame, or sometimes silence. That wiring becomes what I call your money story. It's that deep script inside you that says things like, "I'm just not good with money," or "I always mess this up," or "People like us never get ahead." The book, The Psychology of Money, says no one is crazy about money. We're all just responding to the world we grew up in. What feels reckless to you might feel normal to someone raised in chaos. What feels cautious to you might feel painfully restrictive to someone who never had enough. Most people never stop to question this story. They think it is their personality. But the truth is, your story can be edited. One powerful exercise is to write a short timeline of your life with money. The first time you remember feeling afraid, excited, embarrassed, proud. The jobs, the debts, the big purchases, the turning points. When you see your story on paper, you stop blaming yourself and start understanding yourself. But understanding your story is only the first step. The real challenge is facing the patterns that keep repeating and hurts you. If you've ever promised yourself, "This time will be different," and then watched yourself repeat the same financial pattern again, you've seen this truth up close. Maybe it's overspending when you're stressed, avoiding looking at your accounts when you're anxious, saying yes to expenses you don't really want, or postponing investing because it feels overwhelming. From the outside, it looks irrational. On the inside, it often feels like relief. Your brain isn't designed to optimize your net worth. It's designed to keep you emotionally safe. If, for example, spending gives you a moment of control when life feels heavy, your brain will keep offering that behavior as a solution, even if it harms your long-term goals. If avoiding your bank app helped you survive a time when every number felt like bad news, your brain will treat avoidance as protection, not a problem. That's why simply telling yourself to have more discipline doesn't work. You're arguing with a survival system, not a spreadsheet. Most people only realize this in their 50s or 60s, when they finally understand that their patterns weren't about laziness or weakness. They were about pain. The shift happens when you stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "What is this behavior trying to protect me from?" The urge to buy, to ignore, to delay, it's often a signal. The next time you feel pulled toward a money decision that doesn't align with your goals, pause for 10 seconds and ask, what feeling am I trying to fix right now? That simple question is the beginning of breaking the loop. Awareness comes before strategy. And once you see your patterns, another hidden force shows up that controls your wallet quietly: comparison. You don't have to be obsessed with luxury to fall into it. It can look like something as simple as, they're the same age as me and already own a house, or everyone at work is upgrading their car, or I should be further ahead by now. The human brain doesn't measure success in absolutes. It measures it in relation to the people around you. That's why someone earning a very good income can still feel poor if their entire circle lives a few steps above them. Social media has poured gasoline on this. You no longer compare yourself just to neighbors and coworkers, but to curated, filtered versions of strangers you'll never meet. You see the trips, the renovations, the brand new everything, but not the loans, the anxiety, or the quiet fear behind the scenes. Morgan Housel in The Psychology of Money writes that wealth is what you don't see. The cars, clothes, and holidays are the proof of spending, not the proof of stability. Yet most people only learn this after they've spent years chasing an image of success that never delivers the feeling they were after. The psychology underneath comparison is simple. We confuse admiration with imitation. You admire someone's life, so you unconsciously adopt their spending, even if your values and priorities are completely different. The escape is to define enough on your own terms. Enough income, enough house, enough lifestyle. It sounds simple, but it's radical. When you quietly decide, this level is enough for me, you stop letting other people's highlight reels dictate your choices. You move from performing wealth to building it, and that shift, more than any stock pick or side hustle, is where financial peace begins. Moving forward, comparison isn't the only invisible cost. There's another factor shaping your financial reality: time. One of the cruelest tricks of money psychology is how it bends time. In the moment, small decisions feel harmless. An extra subscription here, a slightly bigger car payment there, putting off investing for just one more year. The problem is that our brains are wired to feel today much more intensely than tomorrow. We discount the future. Your future self is like a stranger you plan to help once things calm down. Unfortunately, that stranger is the one who will live with the results. Compounding is often explained with charts and numbers, but emotionally, it's about loyalty to your future self. At some point, almost everyone has the thought, if I had just started 10 years ago, I'd be in a completely different place. That's the sentence people repeat when it feels too late to catch up. The tragedy is that they had that same thought 10 years earlier and postponed again, because the present always felt more urgent. Most people only fully respect the power of time when they no longer have as much of it. The lesson is not to feel guilty about what you didn't do. It's to realize that today you are the past version someone in the future will either thank or resent. One way to change this is to make your future self more real. Give them an age. Picture them sitting at a table across from you. When you consider a money decision, whether it's spending, saving, or investing, imagine sliding the bill toward them. How would they feel about the choice you're about to make? It's not about perfection, it's about nudging your loyalty a little more toward the person you're becoming instead of only the person you are right now. If this message landed at the right time for you, just write "continue" below, and I'll know you want more videos in this direction. And time brings us to one of the most misunderstood money lessons: luck and risk. We like simple stories about money. They're rich because they worked harder. They're broke because they were careless. These stories are satisfying because they make the world feel fair and predictable, but money doesn't work that neatly. Behind every financial outcome, there's a blend of effort, decisions, timing, and circumstances that nobody fully controls. Morgan Housel often pairs luck and risk as twins, invisible forces that can tilt the same behavior into very different results. The danger is not in acknowledging luck and risk, it's in ignoring them. When we ignore them, we either glorify ourselves when things go well or punish ourselves endlessly when they don't. If your business idea took off, it's comforting to believe it was pure skill. If your investment struggled, it's painful to consider that you did everything right and still faced a rough outcome. So we rewrite the story in our heads. We were either geniuses or failures. Over time, these stories harden into identity. I'm just bad with money. I always blow it. I can't trust myself. The truth is more nuanced. You're responsible for your choices, but you're not in control of every result. Most people only soften into this understanding later in life after seeing unexpected setbacks and unlikely successes. You don't have to wait that long. Instead of asking, "Was I right or wrong?" try asking, "What part of this was my decision, and what part was the environment?" That question protects you from arrogance and from shame. It keeps you learning instead of labeling yourself. Money rewards those who can stay in the game long enough to improve, and that requires humility when things go well and self-compassion when they don't. But if luck and risk shape outcomes, then what shapes the day-to-day habits that build stability? The answer sits beneath the surface: who you believe you are. And that leads us to the next money lesson: saving. Saving isn't a math skill, it's an ego skill. Many people believe they'll start saving once they earn more. Then their income rises, and somehow their lifestyle rises even faster. The psychology behind saving has less to do with calculators and more to do with ego. Saving is the gap between your income and your need to prove something. Spending is often the gap between who you are and who you think you must appear to be. That's why someone with a modest salary can quietly build a strong safety net, while someone earning a high income can feel constantly on edge. Most people only realize this after years of chasing upgrades that never quite feel like enough. There's always a slightly nicer neighborhood, a slightly bigger home, a slightly more impressive car. The finish line moves every time you get closer. The real shift happens when you see saving not as deprivation but as protection, not as missing out, but as buying back your options. Every dollar you keep is a vote for future freedom. The freedom to say no to a toxic job, to help someone you love, to take a break when life demands it. This is also where clarity becomes powerful. When you can see your entire financial life in one place, your income, your spending, your net worth growing over time, it stops being this vague fog in the background. That's exactly why we are building the Trip to Wealth Command Center, a simple Google Sheet system designed to turn your money into a clear, calm dashboard instead of a constant question mark. Because once you see your progress, even if it's small, your brain starts to associate saving with safety and pride, not with restriction. And that psychological shift changes how naturally you build wealth. You can join the early access waitlist below and lock in an exclusive discount. With that being said, saving leads us to another lesson we resist. You will change, and so should your money plan. One of the most underrated truths about money is that you are not a fixed character. The person you were at 20, 30, or even 40 had different dreams, fears, and definitions of success than the person you are becoming. Yet many people design their entire financial life around a version of themselves that no longer exists. They lock into a career, a mortgage, a lifestyle, and a set of expectations, then feel confused when those choices stop fitting who they are. Instead of updating the plan, they assume something is wrong with them for wanting change. The psychology mistake here is called identity freezing, the belief that your current self is your final self. Most people only realize how wrong that is when they look back and say, "I can't believe how different my priorities used to be." The opportunity is to bring that awareness into the present. If your values have shifted, if freedom matters more than status, if time with family matters more than upgrades, if health matters more than overtime, your money should reflect that. Otherwise, you're financing a life you don't actually want. This doesn't mean being reckless. It means allowing flexibility in your plan. It's okay to change direction. It's okay to say, "That dream served me once, but it doesn't anymore." It's okay to choose a smaller house with a lighter mind or a simpler lifestyle with more breathing room. When you give yourself permission to evolve, you remove a huge source of hidden pressure, the fear of wasting an old goal. you're not wasting it. You're honoring the fact that you grew. And money, at its best, is a tool that grows with you, not a cage that traps you in a past identity. And once you accept that you will change, the final lesson becomes clear. Money's real purpose is not performance, it's freedom. If you listen closely to how people talk about money, you'll hear a pattern. Underneath the numbers, what they really want is freedom. The freedom to wake up and not dread the day. The freedom to take care of their health. The freedom to be present with the people they love. The freedom to walk away from situations that drain them. Yet somewhere along the way, money quietly changes roles. It stops being a tool for freedom and becomes a scoreboard for performance. How much you make, how much you own, how impressive it all looks from the outside. Most people only realize very late that they were playing the wrong game. They sacrificed time, energy, and mental health for numbers that didn't deliver the feeling they were chasing. The psychology shift that changes everything is this. Money is at its best when it buys back control over your time. Not when it maximizes appearances, but when it minimizes regret. When you picture your ideal life 10 years from now, you probably don't see brand names. You see moments, morning routines, evenings without anxiety, the ability to care for others without breaking yourself. So, as you think about everything we've covered, your money story, your patterns, comparison, time, luck, saving change, ask yourself one question. Does the way I use money today move me closer to the life I actually want to live, or to a performance I'm afraid to step away from? You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just have to start aligning your financial decisions with a definition of success that feels true to you, not borrowed from anyone else. Most people only discover these money truths after something breaks, after a crisis, a burnout, a shocking bill, or a moment of quiet honesty where they admit, this isn't working. You don't have to wait for that moment. You've just walked through the psychology of money most people learn too late. How your story shapes your behavior, how patterns try to protect you, how comparison steals your peace, how time quietly magnifies your choices, how luck and risk color your results, how saving reflects your ego, how you will change, and how freedom, not status, is the real finish line. If even one of these ideas hit a nerve, don't let this be just another video you nod along to and then forget. Take 10 minutes after this to write down one small change you're willing to make for your future self. Maybe it's finally looking at your numbers, maybe it's setting a simple savings target, maybe it's defining your own enough. This video is for education only, not personal advice, so always consider your own situation or speak with a professional before making big decisions. And that's all for today's video. The psychology of money lessons most people learn too late. If you found value here, I'd recommend watching the next video. It will help you turn these insights into a simple, concrete plan. And if you want more content like this, feel free to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need it. Thank you for spending this time with me. Stay thoughtful, stay patient, and remember, the way you think about money can change your financial reality more than any single number ever will. See you in the next one, Money Magician.